So what we're going to do now is we've kind of got these themes set up here where we want to hear all of your questions. What I asked though, and this actually came from one of you sitting here, a group of you, that said, when something that you hear, a person is speaking about an issue that definitely applies to you in the same way, I ask that either you clap or you raise your hand up nice and high in the air so we know it's not just one person or handful, that it's an issue that really speaks to you. That way, you don't have to get up and say your same thing and say, that'll just be respect for your time. So I know many of you have been up very, very early. And so I want to respect your time as well, and I don't want you to feel like we won't know that it's a big issue to you if you don't get up and speak. Because some people don't like to speak in front of a group, and that's okay too. But we do need to know about your issue. So to help us, just either clap or put your hand up, whatever you want, so that we know clearly as a group. We've got two different people taking notes. I'm personally taking notes as well. And then we'll have the most appropriate person respond to your question. So if it's an expert thing about transportation, Mr. Lloyd will certainly help us. If it's an HR-related issue, Mr. Godin. If it's a financial-related question, Ms. Desmore, or if it's pandemic, one of our two pandemic folks will help on that as well. All right, so this time, I'd like to open things up. Yep, are you going to lead us off today? I really appreciate it. All right, we'll go ahead, and now it's time for us to sit and listen.
All right. My name is Leah Temple. I'm a bus operator out of the East Zone. I think, I can speak for everyone that we was thinking that this was going to go we was thinking that this was going to go differently than what it is. But it seems that due to us doing the questionnaire or whatever, I'm pretty sure you guys came together and got all your stuff together on about what we said in the questionnaire. But I'm going to just start the meeting off now. So we're going to say it's starting from now. Because please don't clap through this for me so I can continue to talk, because we've all gotten up really early, okay? I'm going to say the meeting is starting now with me opening it up so that you guys can really know exactly where we are coming from, okay? First, I would like to take the time to thank all of the employees of transportation for coming out. I thank you guys for that, because I've been to the meeting where it was 50 of us, and I look around now, there's a lot of us. So that's a good thing. And there's strength in numbers. Always remember that. Then I would like to take the time to thank our superintendent, Dr. Savage, Debbie Jordan, for taking the time. The rest of you too, I don't really know you, but thank you for even taking the time to come out and hear us out, to speak with us and all of that, so thank you. But at this time, I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence for our late co-workers, Beatrice Grant, Jay Figueroa, Donna Johnson Hart, and Yvonne Davis, that recently lost their lives to COVID. Thank you. Thank you. I called for a moment of silence to say that their lives matter. The lives that are sitting here in these seats, they matter. To wake up every day and put your life on the line, it isn't easy. But we do it because it's our job. The names I just called, they did it because it was their job. In August 2020, we were brought back for a new school year after being off due to the COVID-19 virus. A virus that swept the nation, claiming lives by the hundreds of thousands. There was guidelines put into place by the Lehigh County School District to protect the health and safety of the students and the employees. Guidelines that stated masks would be mandatory for all employees and students. That drivers would clean and sanitize their buses after dropping off students to their destination and before picking up the next group of students. The guidelines went on to call for social distancing in the workplace for the employees, as well as in the schools for the students. And due to the guidelines that was put in place, we made it through that school term with not one life lost. But unfortunately, that mandate guidelines took a turn for the worse. As the governor, DeSantis issued Executive Order 21-175, ensuring parents freedom to choose masks in schools. We came into this school term overwhelmed, all while being overworked and underpaid. But more than anything, being worried about the safety of our health and our lives. Worried about our families and how we are put in positions that can even compromise their health and their lives. I don't think anyone understands the anxiety that sets in when you look up into a mirror and behind you is 50 students. At least 50 students or more, and at least 30 of them don't even have on a mask. Okay? At least 30 of them don't have on a mask. And if it's 50 of them, we're going to say the other 20 don't even have it on properly because no one has taught them the importance of the mask or how to properly wear it. Our job is to get each and every one of our students to and from school safely. But how can we do that? When we are driving behind a wheel wondering, will this be the day I catch COVID? How can we focus on the traffic when we are constantly in the mirror asking 50 plus kids to quiet down, sit down, and pull your mask up? There is no social distance on the school bus. There is no way possible to social distance on the school bus. Not when every seat is full from the front to the back. Drivers are pulling up, dropping off kids, off 50 to 60 students, splitting them between 2 and 3 buses that are already completely full. Just in order to be able to cover another route. Rushing from one school to the next route with no possible time to sanitize or clean before the next student aboard the bus. In the STOP contract, Article 6, is working conditions. Number 1, safe and secure conditions. States, adequate, clean, safe, and sanitary working conditions shall be provided for all employees. No employee shall be required to work in conditions that are not safe, secure, or perform tasks which endangers their health and their safety. Donna, Vandris, Yvonne, and Jay, they all deserve clean, safe, sanitary conditions. You understand? They deserve for their health to not be put in danger. The district has a school safety layout on its website, and it has a picture of a school bus 1575. And it's a really nice picture, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the picture that got me. It was what it said up under it. It said the school district of Lee County emphasizes that the importance of providing a safe, secure, and healthy environment for all. It is important for our families to know that safety for our children, employees, and community is our priority. With that being said, I ask the question, why don't we feel safe? Why don't we feel secure? And why isn't our health put first? And I'm going to wrap this up. And I think everybody would agree with me when I'm done. We will not stand by and hear another moment of silence across the radio for one of our cohorts. We will not stand by and act like drivers and attendants are okay with everything. No one will stand up. We will stand up to see that every driver and every attendant is treated fairly and equally, that our health is just as much a factor as everyone else. We are telling you something has to be done. It must be done before this virus claims another life of a driver or attendant. We are asking for a mask mandate for every student that rides a Lee County School District bus. If mask is mandatory for them, if mask is mandatory for us, it should be mandatory for them. A school and a classroom is not the same as a school bus. The distance between a teacher's desk and a student is the same distance between a student and a driver when they step up on that bus. Life is too short as it is, and each person in this room has been given life, and they have the right to protect it from anything and anyone, including the district. If our union president won't do the right thing, then we will do what is best for us as a whole. We will do what is best for us as a whole. Because telling us about your $100,000 salary that the district pays you and reminding us that we pay the district, or telling a driver that she needs help to go to the food pantry is not acceptable. We will not stand by and accept it anymore. And we are willing and ready to take action.
I just have to say I really appreciate him being courageous and kind of confronting something that has certainly impacted our drivers. You know, I want you to understand from my standpoint, you know, the Delta variant, the COVID's been going for a little while. The Delta variant in particular was much more transmissible, just much more contagious than any aspect of the COVID pandemic we've had. So basically, we took the worst part that we went through with the pandemic in terms of how people caught it and how contagious it was. What we just went through, and I have a visual, I don't have the ability to show it to you here right now, but there's a visual we get from the Lehigh health system. And it's essentially like a mountain. And what that shows is how many people, how many cases we've had, how our hospital system was the highest percentage of people hospitalized from this. And that's something we just went through. The problem was, it is a Delta, it is just highly, highly contagious. And so the reality is, just with those kind of numbers, while we certainly were very happy to not have fatalities last year, the reality is this was far more contagious what we experienced. We had more cases in 6 weeks than we had in the entire year of last year. And so it's just real important that we don't try to compare apples and oranges in the sense that what Delta did was so significant. The other thing that made it a challenge was, last year we had different flexibility in terms of some of those mitigation measures, some of the things that we could require. It changed. That's just the reality. I'm not going to blame Governor DeSantis, but the reality is Governor DeSantis is the governor. He got to make the law. That's what he does. That's part of his job. He did an executive order that signs it into law. And the one moment that he gave us that opportunity, when he lost in a court case, we took advantage of it. And we said, you know what? They're giving us the power to make these local decisions. We're going to take advantage of that local decision. And we did it for a week and a half until the law changed on us. And as soon as the law changed, we had to go back to follow the law. And that is not going to bring back any lives. It's not going to make you any safer than what it was. But what I wanted to explain to you, just to make sure you see, is that within the discretion we're given by the law, that's what we chose to do. Now, I want you to also know, my family's in the classroom. Okay, my whole family are educators. I tell you that obviously I grew up in these schools, but all of my family are educators. Every single one of us was a teacher. In fact, my youngest brother is still a teacher. He's still in a crowded high school classroom. He has 2 young children at home. One is an infant, and all of them got sick. Now, do I know if he got it in school? I don't know. I don't know if he got it in school. I have no way of knowing where he got it from. And part of the reason why we can't say where people get it from oftentimes is because of the highly contagious Delta variant that we're in. When the community transmission levels are as high as what we have here, it is everywhere. It's everywhere you go. It is all over the place. And so now that we have seen these numbers come way down, it's important that everyone knows that we had a call earlier today and yesterday. The numbers that we're experiencing right in our community are extremely low. So we have come way, 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 way down. So we are much safer right now just because the nature of the infection has brought us down over this mountain. But the problem is, it could come back again. It's still here in our community. People are still getting it, but not nearly as many as there were. But it could come back again. So one of the things that we're doing is making sure that we've got the right protocols that we can. So when it comes back, if it comes back, making more available vaccination. That's another piece of it. I'm not here to preach to people about that they should get vaccinated or not, but scientifically, from medical folks we've spoken to, the best way to prevent fatality, the best way to prevent death from this is to get vaccinated. That is the number one piece. So if you don't believe in vaccination, and I understand, I'm saying statistically it's the best way. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. Yes, absolutely. There are people who have absolutely passed that have been fully vaccinated. And we got the booster shots that are coming. So all I'm just going to make sure I say is on top of all the other mitigation measures, the number one thing the medical experts have told me, and I am not a medical expert, but I get to talk to them. The number one thing they told me to try to prevent loss of life is vaccination. So I'm not a scientist. I can't tell you that that's a fact, but that's what the scientists have said to me. So if we want to talk about preventing loss of life, I just want to make sure we highlight that one piece. Now, anyone else from my team that had to speak, there's a line in there? Okay, then we'll go ahead and have the next speaker ask their question.
I've been employed of Lehigh County School District for the past 6 years, but worked as a school board for 117 years. One of my biggest concerns for this matter, why we can get a better pay. Why we work 10 days bi-weekly and we get paid sometimes 6 days, 7 days, 9 days, never 10 days. What happens to the next pay days? Why does the pay period start on Saturday when it's clearly the weekend? What happened to begin to care for our family without having a second job? Are you guys aware some of our employees are homeless? That's shameful for someone to work as hard we are working and they are unable to pay for housing. I avoid to go to the doctor because the copay himself is enough to give me a heart attack. Why we are not receiving a better health care? Why we not pay for summer what we can do unemployment? And when we here have 365 days, we get paid for 186 days. And nobody can say anything about that. We have kids like you guys. We want to go to vacation like you with our kids. We need to put the table for our kids, not to go to the food bank, like our president asked for us to go to the food bank. It's enough. We take a stand right now today. All of us, we say enough is enough. It's time right now to do something. Thank you.
I was not planning on speaking, but right now I just want to have by the hands, how many people can read their check? How many people know understand their check? How many people know understand their check? What is extra time? Explain extra time, how y'all came up with it. 20 years I've been here and there was never extra time. So if we working and y'all doing extra time, we need to know what extra time is, because nobody had a meeting discussing what extra time is. I just came along and put extra time on the table, and y'all got it approved. The Lord approved it. It's coming downtown.
And you look into the mic. You look into the mic.
I just had a question. Did you want me to answer that right now? Okay. So thank you for bringing up that point, because hey, everybody should be, when you say don't understand your check, you mean the pay stub itself, right? Like when you see the pay stub. So is that what you're saying?
Well, you have regular time, extra time, and overtime. Right, because 20 years, there has never been extra time. Now we got extra time. That sounds like something y'all made up.
I promise you it ain't good, right? It is federal law, Fair Labor Standards Act, but if everybody doesn't understand that pay stub, this is very important. So we can come to compounds, pull out pay stubs, go through it, and kind of explain what each thing means so that everybody sees it. However, okay, well look, you said you didn't understand it. I'm saying the way that you understand it is by us coming and say, okay, these are what these different things mean, so you can ask the question, one by one. However, I'm trying to answer the question on extra time. I'm trying to answer the question. And I just need a second to be able to answer it. I'm just trying to answer. All right. So according to Fair Labor Standards Act, and as I'm sure you all know, once you hit 40 hours, that time is overtime. Time and a half, right? After 40 hours. So, for example, if you work a standard 7 hours per day, and you work 5 hours a day, then your time for the week is 35 hours. So any time that you work between 35 and 40 hours is called extra time. It's not a time and a half because you have not hit 40 yet. Yes. Somebody wanted me to repeat that, and I'm just going to wait a second until, okay. According to Fair Labor Standards Act, once you hit 40 hours, any time that you work after 40 hours is overtime, or that is time and a half, right? Any time that you work in the week, so let's say you are anything less than 8, let's say your standard hours is 7 hours. In a week, you're gonna work a regular standard week, you'll work, your regular standard hours are 35 hours. You have not reached 40 yet. So any hours you work between 35 and 40, or that is those 5 hours, right? And the difference between 35 and 40 is at regular time, your regular hourly rate, or that is it's extra time. It's not classified as overtime or time and a half until you get past 40. So that is the difference. It is not made up. It's not made up. It might be Okay, y'all want to know? I'm trying to break it down for just a second. It's not made up. It's Fair Labor Standards Act, which is federal law. We might not have broken it out that way on pay stubs before, but we are now, so that people understand what the calculation is. Okay? So I'm not saying that's what you wanted to hear. I'm not saying you like it, but I am saying that that is law, and so that's the difference.
We understand that.
Okay.
What we don't understand is, since y'all been short of drivers and numbers I've been here, in 1 week I'm making 60 hours in 1 week. So you tell me how I'm making overtime. In 1 week I'm making 60. Straight hours. And the second thing I got to ask, y'all
That
told
is,
us to stand down.
so wait, before you go to the second thing, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what the first thing was you were saying. You say you got 60 hours. And so
So
some of
1
that
week
is,
I'm making 60.
right.
So
some
I'm
of that
making
is
over
overtime.
40 hours.
Right.
So when did the extra time come in and all this overtime come in? And it's straight time. So where's the extra?
No, if you are working 60 hours in 1 week, you have to have some overtime in there.
When y'all came up with this new paper that we have to come in and sit down
In one
because
week.
y'all stop our time with this new stuff y'all doing, if we is still out there working, we got to come back in and put that we on the bus, this and that. That's necessary. That's what I wanted. And the ladies, I have to help every day. Don't understand because that's how y'all cheating us out of our money. So many people don't understand what y'all doing.
Okay, so fine, and I understand that. So if you're saying that you don't understand.
I understand my money, but believe me, trust me, I'm gonna be downtown to be sure.
Right. So I understand that. What I'm saying is, what you're saying that there are people in general that don't understand. That's what I hear you saying.
Because y'all cutting them off and they still driving.
Well,
It's set up in y'all computer.
well, look.
Y'all saying y'all estimating
No.
our TM such and such a time,
Yes.
and we still driving,
But
and we have to come into y'all office and put on a computer.
Yes, in transportation office, yes. That's the.
So that's how y'all doing that extra overtime instead of our straight time. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, so but when you say straight time, okay, help
Because I'm still driving that same
to me,
thing.
straight time. I just am telling you, I'm trying to understand. To me, straight time is just regular hourly rate. When we say straight time, that's what that means, regular hours. That doesn't mean overtime, that doesn't mean extra time, it means straight hourly rate.
What she's trying to say is that after her 40 hours, she's doing 60 hours a week.
Right.
After her 40 hours, her 20 is supposed to be overtime, but it's straight time. So whatever she's getting paid for the 40, she's getting paid for the 20. It's no overtime. That's exactly what she's saying.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if that's the case, and you're telling me that is the case, then I want to know, I'm going to need to see, right, what you talk about on the check, because after 40 hours in a week, right, in general, now it depends if you have sick leave and all that kind of stuff, it's a little something different, but if you work all week, 60 hours a week, you were there every day, there were no extra holidays, there was no sick time, there was no days where you didn't come, then some of that has to be overtime.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're telling me, so I'm finished. If you're telling me that is not what you're finding is the case, then I'm saying, let's sit down and go through it.
Yeah, we're going to go through that because I missed that.
That's all I'm saying.
And my second question is, y'all, they had us stand down for cost of living for a long time. Cheese going up, milk going up, light beer going up, water. We want a step. We don't want no 2 cent, no 3 cent, no 22 cent. While y'all be out there and get gas, I'm out here on the second job to trying to make it. It's time for a cost of living. As y'all can see, that rent went up, mortgage went up, and the comeback came back and said, we don't housing. We don't need no raise. So people probably have to step down and get to the house. Because they don't lost everything. It's time for a cost of living, man.
Yes, ma'am, I hear you on that. We are at the bargaining table working on that right now. I can't make any additional comment on that besides that, okay?
Where Jamie at anyways? Where Jamie at? Where Jamie at?
Okay.
Just putting lipstick on her
The
pig.
question
Watch.
that I had was, when the parents, students opt out, we're not aware of who opts out. Any student can get on the bus and say that they're opt out. That's why we got a lot of students on our bus with no masks. So how do we put that in place where if they opt out, that we have that on our list to know what students opt out or not? Which is still gonna be difficult because we are covering so many different routes of so many different people. So basically that will have to probably put on their route that they give us with these students opting out. Because that is a big factor on us with these masks. We really, really need these masks.
So the question being if you're over here about how do you know who opts out? There is no true firm way to know. In the schoolhouse, there is no way to know who opts out. The parents have the opportunity, have to go under the assumption that if they're not wearing their mask, that is the wish of their family. We offer masks. We make them available, but we cannot make any student wear a mask.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, how, if we don't know how they opt out, how we don't know.
We're going by the students' word.
So,
Word of mouth.
so they can just tell you, we opt out.
Word of mouth.
And you just have to say, okay.
And they say we can't separate them. Can't put them to the back.
No, I don't have a question. My name is Teresa. I've been waking up at 4:30 in the morning since 2003. That's how far this been back. When I first came here, I've been here through different ways to be clocked in and out. I've been through all of that. I watched a lot of turnarounds in the office with dispatch, with supervisors, with directors. This is the worst.
The worst. The worst. Yeah.
I'm one of their more humble drivers. I'm not argumentative, I want to tell you that. I'm one of those drivers that do so much work in between. See, I don't try to grab it at the end. I care about kids because I have a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old that gets on the bus. So in between, when I'm not getting paid extra, I'm still working. You know why? Because we're so short of drivers getting paid, so they're smushing 2 buses together, 2.5 buses together. I'm driving the EOC bus for them. I'm jumping on the big bus for them. I'm back and forth. You are losing people because of the pay. You are losing. I'm serious. I'm talking to these young girls, these bus attendants, Lehigh and Publix, taking all your employees. Because of
You saw how many people last month quit? Over 30 people. But listen, half of them people wasn't even on the list.
I can't, that's work. I
So
heard
they
about
put
the
in
whole
3 or
deal.
4 people, hiring 3 or 4 people per month. You ain't making up for nobody.
I get that, but again, I'm humble. I never have problems like this. I'm working all this extra time and not getting paid for it. You know, on the bus, and I don't gotta wear no mask. We see it on the news. I don't gotta wear no mask, and that's fine. My counselor doctor, he hasn't had a patient yet that be COVID. We dying. I gotta get the booster and get some vaccinated. Chemo patients are dying. So now I done jumped back on the front line because I didn't do that because everybody said, I came back because we were so short. My baby had to stop for hours. Anybody here that work with me, they'll tell you, I don't do it for the rain. But I'm still not getting paid. I think us drivers that do all this extra work for one, we need to get into that somewhere. We gotta get paid. They making us do stuff within our RTO. That's the trick. They call, they put us in between and making us put it inside there. And it's true, people aren't using their phone in their cars. Y'all still sleep when we up. If we don't go get those children, they won't get to school. It'll affect your job, his job, everybody's job. I don't know if this meeting was to pacify us, or I don't know if this being taken serious, but I'm serious. You will not have have workers soon. I'm telling you, Publix and Lehigh are taking more appointments because it's better paid, better benefits. We are struggling. We gotta put away, we already ain't getting paid. We gotta put away. So every check I'm putting up $20, I gotta go back in that way because I'm not getting paid. Last but not least, I did a field trip the other night when I was out. I didn't have a key to get back to the gate. When I pulled my bus up to the gate, it clocked me out. It clocked me out when I was walking out the gate. My car was on that side, I was on this side for another hour. So I looked, I said, well, it clocked me out again. I didn't leave until like 11:50 because I was walking out the gate and this nice young thing. And the gate for me to let me in. And now I gotta argue my pay. I gotta argue my pay, and I really did work. When I'm leaving them by middle in the morning, I'm off the clock. I'm off the clock, and I come in and I feel guilty when I'm typing in. I shouldn't feel guilty that I was still on the bus being clocked out. It's like we feeling like we stealing something.
Right.
Really still working, and we gotta do a whole paragraph and explain to you why we're y'all losing workers. I've been clocking in here for years. I'm about to leave soon, and I never said that. I fought through every struggle, every directed dispatch, being treated bad. I fought through a lot. But I'm getting tired. Y'all gonna lose a good driver. I'm not your average driver.
Okay, I know that I'm going to say we can't talk about this, but I know the majority of us here are talking about this because you have drivers that have been here 17 and 18 years. They are making $1 more than I am. $1. I've only been here 11 years. And on these 11 years that I've been working here, I make the same exact money to the penny that these brand new drivers that have zero experience are coming in and making. If you guys don't pay, not our side.
Now, thank you so much because that was one of the points that I want to touch on. I've been in transportation for 2 years. I was an assistant teacher in the Princess Star classroom for 15 years. I jumped into transportation because I love to drive. Like the other drivers, we don't care at what time we wake up and at what time we lay down. We don't care. We do it this because we have passion. We love it. But we need more money. I know drivers that been 20 years and it's been just $3 over me. I have a question. I see me 17 years to be over the new ones, $3, $4. That's not okay. This is a tough job. It's very tough. We are in the middle of the pandemic and we don't get paid to clean and sanitize the bus the way it's supposed to be. Kids is going to our level all the time. It's our mask. But vaccination, it doesn't cover to you 100%. Okay? I get a full vaccination for an asthmatic or an rich like me. Too many are diabetic and have many health issues that no help with the COVID. That's true, we don't have social distance on the bus. We don't have it. That's impossible. We have a lot of kids. We don't have time to clean between school. We have to keep cover and cover. What do you want? That we keep quit? You want that we quit? If all of us decide one day don't cover route, this will be a chaos. A chaos. Just no cover one day. You don't have to. You don't have to because you are tired. Because you do your route. Why? But we do. Please cover, and we go and we do it, right?
Just don't cover. We make a big hole. Now, by something I say, no mask. I have a question. Just one question. I don't want answers because any answer that you give me to me today is an excuse. We don't want more excuse. We want to see results. Solutions. We live in USA, and that's what we need. How many parents know that their kids don't use the mask at school and at the bus? When the kids arrive to my bus, I ask them, my own kids, not the ones that I cover because I don't know the other kids. I ask them, do your parents sign the waiver? No. Your parents know that you don't use a mask? No. I didn't say to them use a mask. I just asked them. They ask me now for the mask when they go into my bus. Just because I made two questions. Do your parents sign the waiver? No. Your parents know that you don't use a mask? No. Your parents want that you use a mask? Yes. So it's a conflict. What do you want? Like the news say that the Santi moved the National Guard to cover all? Because that was in the news a couple of weeks ago. What we're going to do? Destroy the public system. And this country, honestly, is nothing without the public system. It's nothing. Because not too many parents can pay the private education for the kids. And everybody needs education. So please, raise up. Because you know, many people going out and don't want to be a driver because we have a big break in the middle of the day. Rate pay for a regular driver with our driver license is being 21 to 25 an hour. We get only 60. We get only 60. Don't tell me about insurance. The insurance that we have 15 years ago was good. The one that we have now is not. It's not. We get sick, we have to pay 40, 80 bucks for medication, 120 every month, and we don't get paid enough. So, if we continue losing drivers and losing teachers, you know, so every day, you have to fight them, you have to make them think about all that things, or eventually, you don't have too many drivers. You don't have too many teachers.
I got two last questions. Two last. Ask Dr. Whitfield first.
Okay, my name is Roberto Ramirez. I've been driving 17 years. And my question is this. Why still making $17 an hour? Covering all these routes. The other day I did 5 schools in the afternoon. The 2 G Weavers, 2 Lehigh Elementary, and a middle school, because we have no drivers. We don't have time for anything. And we've been on the pain. And when we messed up because we got no drivers, we make you guys look bad. TV comes right away. Oh, he come, he did it again. They left the kid standing there for so long. And why? Because drivers are leaving. Amazon, FedEx, UPS, everybody's paying a lot of money. And now, truck drivers, they need so many drivers to bring all the goods around the country. And people are leaving because we are being underpaid. That's the only questions I got. We're not going to talk about anything else because they already talked about the subject, about the extra time. So that's all I want to know. Why, unless you guys take care of us, a lot of people are going to be leaving and we won't be able to make all these jobs, take care of these routes because we don't have enough drivers. Thank you.
Can this be fixed that I move up here? Because I have with my notes. Hi, I'm not going to introduce my name because it doesn't make any difference. This is for all of us. I will tell you I'm an operator out of the South Compound. First of all, I want to say in our compound, probably everywhere else, I'm an operator, but our attendants are treated in such a despicable manner.
Yes, they are.
God bless them. I don't
Yes,
know
they
how they went 2 or 3 years before getting insurance coverage, so on and so forth. I don't know. I wish I had $1 billion. I would come in and I would buy that segment so I could pay these poor girls and guys. So they're treated in this despicable manner. Okay, so Mr. Wood, I'm going to ask you the first question, and I'm going to have to answer right off in a little bit. Why return to RTMs? Somebody's saving money somewhere at our expense. So I would like to know why returning to RTMs. So if you can answer that in a bit. I want to talk also about the leadership team. Dr. Savage, whenever you sent out that letter inviting people to this, and you spoke of your leadership team, I don't think you've got a single driver on that leadership team. You are woefully insufficient. You can't know the culture. You can't understand unless you pick a long-term individual from each of these compounds. You cannot understand. And I'm not saying people should come and complain, but you need to comprehend the core of the environment. It is, oh my God, here's the culture, the attitudes. Oh my God. First of all, if I ask a supervisor or dispatcher for anything, they may as well have this big sign outside of it. 2 things that they say. Oh well. That's all compound. Here's the other answer. It's shorter. We can do this in a little bit wider.
I told her I was sick.
No.
I said, oh, well, I had to cover it.
This is what it is. This is what I get. I have tried for over 5 weeks now to have a video pulled. You know, I've gone to the same supervisor to see what will happen. Number 1, it's never been pulled. Yeah. Number 2, while she's talking to me, she's typing something on the computer. Number 3, she says, I'm going to send this person another email. Oh my God, I've never heard back from her. But you know, she told me, I never have to worry about getting back to you because you always follow up. I'm following up and not getting any answers. Yeah. This is with every supervisor in our compound. This is with every dispatcher in our compound. You know, we can't even get in the building Mr. Lloyd's in. We are not allowed. I'm in South Compound. Not proud to say it. We have to have a reason why. The reason has to be approved by some new dispatcher standing there who's about, 18 years old. And then, if we're lucky, they touch the buzzer and let us go in. They don't like us using their bathrooms. I have someone that I know well over there because women poop and they plug up the toilet. Well, for God's sakes, get a plumber. I quite frankly, I've never worked someplace where, oh yeah, in our building where we are allowed, we don't get to use one of the bathrooms because when one of the dispatchers came in, she didn't want to use the same toilet seats as the drivers and attendants. Now, we have brought that up before, Mr. Lloyd, but it's never been changed. Now, that also has supplies in it. Put the supplies somewhere else. I should be able to use that larger bathroom. I'm a larger woman. I think you mentioned morality. I truly believe that we are the little puppets. And dispatch and supervisors, they pull the strings. If they want to like you for that minute, my God, you get to go to the bathroom. I was told last year, don't you dare stop and go to the bathroom. You wait until you're out of school. By the time I get to the school, I've got 70 kids trying to get on that bus. And those ramp teachers, they're telling me no. We aren't really treated like human beings. We are treated like science rats. When they want to feed us, we get fed. When they don't, we don't. And this sounds so pitifully dramatic. It's just the culture. So you can't know what's going on in the leadership team without drivers. The other thing I wanted to mention was about the extra time. Why, if a person works 40, 60 hours, I'm kind of addressing it to this woman over here, let's go back to the 60-hour situation. You had mentioned anything over 40 hours should be overtime, but then you gave caveats such as sick time. Well, if I get paid 8 hours of sick time a day, that should not affect anything over my 40 hours. But you said with the exception, so that should really be clarified, you know, to all of us, because just because I have one day, if I'm getting paid that 8 hours, I'm still over 40 hours. So that extra 20 hours should be overtime. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I wrote it on. Oh yeah, also in the South Compound, the building we are allowed in. Oh yeah, we've had broken toilets for I don't know how damn long. Out of order, out of order, out of order. So two of the toilets are rocking back and forth. I've asked over and over for work orders to be put in. I truly believe those supervisors who put those in, they don't follow up. Here's the reason. I don't have the time. Well, you know what? We don't either. So if we blocked out right at the end of our RTMs, kids can stand on those ramps. We don't have the time. I have an 86-year-old mom. I would imagine many of us have extra jobs. I have a second full-time job. I'm the caregiver for my 86-year-old mother. I got home about 3 weeks ago. I hate taking time off because, you know, kids have to go into 3 different buses. My mom's laying on her bathroom floor. I couldn't get her up. I called up, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter all the details, they are important. I want to tell you, I got a phone call from the generic number at South Compound. They didn't, I don't know who it was a generic number, wanting to know where I wasn't going to come to work. I already told them, my mom was on the bathroom floor, she takes precedence. So I have an extra full-time job, many others do. We've already talked about the lack of pay, I'm not going to go there, but by God, I want some respect. Don't call me when my mom, and I've been very clear on the bathroom floor, she needs me, and I'm getting a call, someone wanting to give me a bunch of garbage. I did not call them back. The other thing, South Compound, again, the building we are allowed to go into, if you kind of get my drift, there are only 4 computers in which we can't do anything. There's 4 computers, we do our extra time, we check our emails. If in fact our labor launch pad isn't correct, we've got to go back and fix that. There's 12 people behind us. They're all wanting to go home. They're not getting paid to stand there while I'm fixing all this crap on this computer. We've got a problem. We are woefully deficient in toilets, and everything else that I've just mentioned. I want to talk about one other thing, appreciation. We are told every day we're appreciated. What appreciation means is that I have done something to make your job a lot easier. It didn't make it easier for me, but of course you appreciate me for God's sakes. I'm breaking my butt for you. We are not valued. Value means you say to me, yeah, Bobby, you've been looking for that for 5 weeks. You stay here, let me make a call. Let me go that extra length to help you out. We are not valued, we are not respected, we are appreciated, and unless we want to get buzzed in to see Mr. Lloyd or anybody else, then we're told no.
Okay, I really don't talk much, but I just came to say something. My genuine question, like seriously, my genuine question is, the things that we are saying, do you all care? No, I'm not trying to be negative, but do you all care? I get up at 2:30 every morning. I clock in at 3:30 to go pick up the screen every day. Every day. It's a stuff on my face to go on social media or people who I know and people who get off their truck, throw a package on the ground and take a picture and getting paid $19.50 an hour. They were making $15, but due to being an essential worker, they got a $4 raise, plus a bonus. We help just gave their new employees and their old employees
a bonus, a good bonus. We can't even get a cold turkey sandwich with chips for Thanksgiving. And if we want to cook and bring in our food, we have to ask for permission like we're children. But they'll come and eat when we bring our food out. Okay, my next thing is these schools, they don't respect us. We're using the most disgusting, urinating, foul movements on the ground for children. We have to sit on itty bitty toilets. I'm a big girl, I'm big. So me having to sit on the toilet is a step in my face. The toilet is this small. We can't go inside the schools. We can't use the bathroom. And they'll tell you every day, I'm taking my kids off my bus, put them on 3 or 4 buses to go do somebody's school, and have a parent that's threatening me, which they better stop playing, to threaten me about being late. Something that's out of my control. We tell them we gotta pull over. Oh, keep going. We make a stop, 5, 10 minutes late, 20 minutes late. Oh, I need you to go back. No, we need food and water. I don't need to do nothing. We're not respected at all. My sister passed away September. I was off 2 days. I get, when are you coming back? It's not no, I'm sorry for your loss. If there's anything I can do. Here's a 12-pack of soda for your sister's funeral. It's none of that. At this point, like, I'm not really sure, like, these drivers are tired. You're gonna lose them all. And appreciation, I mean, oh, thank you for running this route. I mean, a simple, hey, on Friday or every other Friday, since you guys have been so gracious and helped us a lot, let's do a drawing with like 10 drivers in attendance who help and pick a drawing. I don't have a gift card of $5. It's appreciation. All that, thank you. That doesn't mean nothing to us anymore. We can't gas our bus. We might as well wear the pin diapers and keep driving because we can't stop to use the restroom. We're doing the best that we can. We're not respected nowhere. So what is the use for us? Like, can somebody tell us that? We're not getting paid correctly. This is the first job I've had where anything over 40 hours, I have to keep my money. I'm puzzled. I put in too many hours to not get a decent check. Well, I have to get off my bus to work a part-time job or do something extra to make ends meet. And another thing, I hope it's not out of place. The rumor about us supposed to be getting a raise, it is supposed to be clarified through email that wasn't true about a $4 raise. Is Jamie even here? No.
No, ma'am. No.
It was mentioned to Jamie that she was going to lose drivers. She mentioned it there.
She at home eating her rib dinner.
It's a slap in our face. It's a slap in our face. We're not respected nowhere. You can easily say, oh, yes, you are. We appreciate that. I mean, it's nothing wrong. I think one year they did bring the Jones barbecue one year out of the 11 years I've been here. We don't get Christmas parties, Christmas bonuses, nothing. I mean, we don't get nothing. I've been here 11 years and I think I made $2.32 extra. What is that? That's $3.99. That's nothing. We need to be respected and we need to be valued. And we need more pay.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca and I'm a student of the Lee County School District, here to speak on behalf of all the hardworking drivers in attendance. I ask that as we continue this meeting, we do not beat around the bush and hear about things that we already know about. I ask that the notes that are being taken are not just being jotted down for show, and that something is actually being done about what's been going on. My mother has been driving for this district for 6 years since we moved here in 2015, and since I cannot say my mom has had any actual peace or rest. As a student who rides the bus, I have seen secondhand how drivers are being mistreated and disrespected. These drivers are being given 7+ routes to do when they're only supposed to be doing 4, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. We will not stand by to be worked like dogs and get paid as we are. Both my sister and I caught COVID in August, and day after day my mom was called and asked, "Are your girls doing better? Will you be coming back soon?" Instead of putting my mom first, their loyal worker, they just tried to figure out when they would be getting her back. I have gone Christmases without receiving gifts due to the fact that my mom didn't have any money. And I know that almost all the workers in this room have struggled in the same way. We have people in the community working more than 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their families' heads. These people are not being paid for any vacations and are barely getting their due for COVID absences. The people in this room are humans and deserve to be treated as so. The same way you, members of the board, are able to comfortably take vacations and take a trip to the doctor, we would like the same opportunity. I'd like to thank all the drivers in attendance in the room tonight, those who have safely transported me, and those from school and those who have not. These frontline workers deserve more than this treatment.
My name is Carmen Castro. I work for the district for like almost 18 years. And like everybody said, this is the worst. We are every morning. I come to the compound. We are in our compound. 4:15 in the morning to see and help dispatch. Like a lot of drivers, we are there waiting to see what they have for us to cover. I'm going to talk about my own experience. I make some days I make 5 schools, no routes, no 2 routes on a bus, 2 different schools. And it's sad that the following day we have a supervisor calling us because we are making hours. You don't have drivers. You need to use the drivers. Like my coworkers say, they don't value our work. Is all I'm gonna say.
Hello, everybody. Now, y'all got to be quiet when I'm talking. Go ahead. Okay, listen. You always lean on legalities. And we're demanding because it's legal, don't make it right. So we're asking, not asking, we're demanding. Do the right thing by us. Referral system is broken. It's broken. That's the thing. When I hear a student berate a grown woman with children, and the next day he's on the bus, they don't feel that there are no consequences when it comes to us. That they can treat us any kind of way. We know we're not idiots that you have procedures when it comes to referrals. Enforce them. Treat us like human beings, especially our women bus drivers. They deserve more. As a man, I can arrest my emotions better than a female. Well, she's powerful. We men, we know, push on the shove, we can do something. But when it comes to our women, it's deplorable how they allow these grown so-called students to talk to our women. We've had enough of that. Enforce these referrals. The crime or the punishment should fit the crime when it comes to these referrals and where we're treated in these schools. Hey, that's just about all I got.
Okay, my question is, as far as clocking out, when is it you have to clock out if you're working
Actually, if you're working straight through, you should have a 1 in the morning before and 1 after 11 o'clock. Correct. If you don't get an hour lunch, you work straight through. You collect pay straight through. Use the mic. You have to lean it up. There you go.
Okay. It won't stay up, and I don't want to keep trying to. Okay, so my issue is I have a case. I started a new stop that's on the beach that I have to pick up on Fort Myers Beach, which takes me all the way back around to Bonita Beach Road, which is 45 to the other end of Bonita Beach Road. Then I have 2 other stops out there. When I started out, I was picking up the stop at 10:09 in the morning. I was supposed to be, and it took me all the way up. I was supposed to be at school. I was supposed to be at school at 11:30, which I was not being at 11:30. I was not into school until 12 o'clock. No, 12:30 was not 12 o'clock. Not my fault. I didn't take the route, I just walked. Okay? I been called in to office every day since I started this life. Now, I should have to mind you, I go 4 or 5 places on top of my RTM, which I'm not getting paid for. So, I'm asking you, if you messing with me about money that I'm working, if you ain't paying me for the route that I'm doing on my RTM, I'm gonna check. Okay. I shouldn't have to be stressed out on my job and threatened every day about where you calling me in every day. If you can't read the GPS, you ought to get somebody that can understand. You're reading my GPS and it's showing you that I am on the road this whole time. And then you tell me you call me in and see that this is what I'm doing. And you threaten me and tell me that I'm going to clock out. You're going to take my pre-K? Now you make me understand how that's fair. Now, nothing against Mr. Lord, because I have to talk to him, and he knows I have to talk to him. I have to talk to him, and I'm going to talk to him, but to address the thing, it just didn't happen. Some things need to be done right before. And we shouldn't have to feel, like, how can I drive west, stressed, worried about, oh Lord, I'm time, and they been talking all week, starting to laugh every day. You read the GPS, it's showing you where I'm at. I didn't even stop. I stopped to use the bathroom. And I was told that I could not stop and use the bathroom. So I come in, now mind you, my middle school paid pool so I can help out. I don't have a problem. I love my job, I love what I do. And I don't want to see anybody get it up, so I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with picking up the stuff to my nerves. I don't care about it. But I don't want you messing with me about my money really working. And I just want to be paid. I think that's not fair. I'm coming in early because I'm recovering a school fee, which goes over earlier than my RTM. So I come back to the compound, and I'm saying, why am I sitting on the car? It's not my time for the time. My RTM is at 9. But I don't understand either. Everywhere else, all middle schools are 10 o'clock to 10:15. Why is our middle school 9?
I'm going to have to check the route sheet. It should be. We don't even drop off until 9:35, 9:45. So the earliest I could see would be maybe 10 if you're from Cypress. But I would double check yours. I'll check into it.
They push my pre-K into my RTM.
All right, let me take a look at it. I'll look at it. You know I will.
All right, good evening, everybody. We want to thank the staff for coming to listen to us. I think we need that more often. We need that. We know, especially the superintendent has pressure from the left, from the right, and now it's from us, which is, we don't know what side it is. I think before everybody leaves, we need to start a strong movement with a strong coalition, with people with strong minds. Because things goes overboard when it comes to us, the drivers. Nobody would care about us but us. I will repeat, no one else will care about us but us. I remember 15 years ago when I started that job, we did not have that much pressure surrounding us. And now, it's too much. And they don't understand us. We have to find somebody to start a strong movement. I say strong movement. If we put together 3 drivers, 300 drivers, 500 drivers, put together and have some action going on, they will listen to us. They take notes. They take notes. They will go on their own job politics. But us, we have to stand together. We need to stand together because inflation, we all fight for a good living. Inflation goes so high and nobody cares. 20 to 25,000 a year right now. It's not something that we work so hard we can live with. We can't. We have to do like the teachers did. They did not go by the union. They put together and stay for sometimes home. They put their money 45,000 a year now. So if we need something better, don't count on them. It's a made up when they put 9 days. And they told us, I heard it's just happening. It's a made up. When they put 9 days, we did not decide to get paid for 9 days. When they put 9 days and telling me, if it's not 80 hours, it's always not going to be 80 hours, 9 times whatever. It's going to be something. It's not going to be 80. So when you say extra time, where that time comes from, we need to be clear about it. We don't know where it's come from. You get it from the overtime that we do and add it on the extra time. We need a strong coalition, and that's what I have to do. We need to start something.
Hello, I just want to say, my name is Michelle Hadley. I've been with this for 31 years. Yes. And we need a lot of help. We need a lot of help. I know a lot of people sound really frustrated, and what we are. We need someone to think this into. We really need some help. 31 years, and I've seen it. I was here when we had one clubhouse. Okay, so I've been a long time. So all I'm asking tonight is you guys, please. If we can have the meetings, if you can come out and talk to us, or anything that we can get, please show us some kind of help. That's all we're asking. So you guys have a good night.
Hi, my name is Robert Davis. Y'all probably met me at the school board meeting. Probably remember me, right? Remember I told you, you just saw a few of us that night? Take a look around you. Now, a lot of people went home because most of us are dead tired, hope we can wake up in the morning. But everything that I can think of covering, they've covered. All I say is, are you guys paying attention? Because you are not in touch with what's going on. And I don't have a lot of little personal complaints. But let's talk about my favorite subject, money. And when I say money, I'm talking about drivers and attendants, okay? I don't want to strike anybody. I've only been in the school system for 7 years, but I've been in transportation for over 40 years. Yes. And I know a little bit about transportation, and I know a little bit about finance. So let me give you some numbers, and everybody, I would write this down of what I think at this point in time that we're worth. I believe that anybody that drives a school bus, entry level, up to 5 years, should be paid a minimum of $20 an hour. Anything, hang on guys, let me finish. 5 up to 10 years, you get to 10 years, $25 an hour. 10 to 20 years should be $30 an hour. 20 and above, they should be getting 35 plus bonus. Because not only do you have a super seasoned driver, you have a teacher. Okay? Now pay attention to your drivers. They are the lifeblood of this business. You know that, and I know that. And also I want to add one more thing. Discipline. Get all them referrals you got, throw them in a pile and burn them up. You need a 3-strike rule. This is what I propose. You guys figure out how to do it. Strike 1, you're gonna get a written warning. Strike 2, you're gonna get 2 weeks off my books. Now how you get to school is up to your mom and dad. Strike 3, I don't want to see you no more this year. And as I told you downtown, that was only a few of us. You see a few more of us. Wait till the next meeting.
Well, I'm going to go into the we're all talking about this. We have bus drivers that go put extra time and extra time. They don't even go to the computer. What happens to their extra time? They're tired of getting denied. For what? If we're working on the bus, pay us. I'm on the bus, point A, point B, I don't stop. I do a Estero High and Springfield. I get Springfield about 8:35, 8:40. When I come to the compound, like 20 after 9. I gotta put in extra time. I spoke to Mr. Danny. He said the computer is a computer, you can't change it. Why do I gotta go to the computer every day? So many hours to put in the day, and I gotta go home, check my time, do my login, get out of that, log in for this one for PeopleSoft, log in for your Outlook. How much time do I have to spend for the account? We're always on the clock. Give us a break. And that was doing that. Right? Come to the compound. I haven't gone to the bathroom all day. In the office. Yes, Angela. Can't use that. No, you can't use that bathroom. So I left, I went to the shop. You know what the shop told me? If I use the bathroom, I'm gonna get written up. For what? Use the bathroom? Are you kidding me? I mentioned it to you, Mr. Lawyer. Nothing's happened. I told him to write me up. Write me up. I've been driving buses 2013 Connecticut. And I moved down here to make myself better. I should have stayed up there. Franklin, $30 an hour. Here, we were told something. Oh, you should listen to the contract. It's much below this. Wake up. You deserve better.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on YouTube.
Hello, everyone. It's just a simple
Gotta
matter.
thank the white boy.
I have friends that work with the carrier company.
I got everything.
They pay me more money. So how is it possible that we carry the most value product and give them the same? So it's time that you guys think about how much you pay to do the kids. You all safe and the school safe. So it's time that you value that card and you all deserve it. So really matter what you say.
I have a question for y'all. Do y'all know how it feels to get disrespected by the kids and then turn around and get disrespected by the supervisor? Over the radio. The same kids that disrespect us on the bus. Do y'all know how it feels to do 2 bus routes back to back, pull up to a school we can't even go in, to use the adult restroom, even buy a soda out the vending machine? We gotta use the bathroom, out the door, the gym, pee on the floor. I was big and pregnant. I had to walk on the slippery bathroom floor. I had to have my baby early from south because my blood pressure. I got COVID this year. I got a little baby, a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old. Do y'all know how it feels to be in your home and your kids can't be there? My little baby couldn't even be there. Do y'all know how it feels to get disrespected over and over and still wake up every morning at 4:30 to be here on time and pick up y'all kids, take y'all kids to school? My own kids don't disrespect me. Why not say disrespect over their kids? All of them don't disrespect. We need to come over the radio. We gotta pull over on the bus just to calm my nerves because we done got disrespected. We call in dispatch and tell them we taking the kid back. But why you taking them back? Do I have to call with a problem? Obviously it's something. We need to be respected. We need to be respected. We need to be respected. We don't get respected. We need to be respected. I don't know how many times I can say it, but we need to get respected. I'm an adult just like y'all is.
My name is Andy. I've been in the South for 13 years. I don't talk very much. I'm nervous. In the past year and a half, for the whole COVID, I've changed my daughter's daycare 4 times because they shut down. I struggle every morning to get here, but I'm here. And Lee Memorial has 4 daycares for their employees. They don't offer anything like that for us. And we need it the most. And, you know, we go to pay, and I'm pennies above what the new people start for 13 years. The pay would help me hire a babysitter in the morning. I can eat here on time. Not get yelled at by the principal. Screamed at. We get food stamps in the summer.
And get a hard time.
I have 4 kids, 3 in the district, and a 3-year-old. Okay. My afternoon, I help as much as I can in the afternoon. I did a Cypress High, got kites late. I do a whole Heights route. Take the little boy to the beach, turn around at Lover's Key, make it to Cypress Middle, do a route at Cypress Middle, and usually double. And try to get off work to get my kids. And I was late today because I did the Cypress High. They can help us send out a parent. Because when I got to Parker Lakes, I had 7 parents waiting, like vultures. And when I say I threw Zachary and Brittany under the bus, because they were ready to pounce on me because I was late for helping. Because I'm late, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They've been taking an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 15 minutes out of my sick time. even though I'm doing 2 to 2.5 hours every day extra. All right, like a lot of us, I don't say much. I do my job, 21 years. We would love for you to meet with your principals of each school. Okay? We have an area meeting. Back in the day, we had an area meeting every quarter or every so often. We can talk to each other to know what's going on the school. And then we address it. If you are on the step on these buses and how these drivers are getting called back because they can't get their students on the bus, which makes them late for what they already crazy and sending another hour. There's a lot of stuff going on with communication in schools, because school teachers around, and the bus. We need area meetings. So we can voice like we're talking to you, we can do the schools we service, we can talk to them, and everybody can on the same page on how to do it. Let's be big. Keep on the phone and really. If you can be on these buses with all the stuff going on, our drivers are turning keys. They will leave the bus there. They don't have no kind of backup from the dispatch to the supervisor. I've always said, if you want to rob New York, you can't have it. And that's right. If you take with us and let us know that you appreciate us and stay on the same page, like I say, stay on it and make sure we're good, then you all be compliant. And all of us will come together. We're going to come together and we ain't going to come. You can't get these kids to school without us. You understand that? And that's your problem. I keep saying, I don't know you. Nothing personal. You jab and try it. But you got to feel it. I'm a person that feels it. And I say something, I feel it. We need pay. We need backup. We need respect. You and the board. Get together. Go to these schools and schools. Next area meeting. So we can talk to them. See, this is the thing. A lot of us been here for years. Right? We are this takes especially people that guide these buses. You don't find them often. You don't want to look at the guy left. Get with your schools, with your principals, the administration. Get those area leaders going back up. So they can listen to these drivers and understand what we're going through, and they can address their kids and their parents, and everybody can be on the same page. That's real talk. Okay? Another thing, payroll.
Just want to pause for just a second, because I know many of you are trying to get out. I just want to say, number one, thank you for all the honest feedback. The second thing I'd say is I really appreciate you providing a really good suggestion.
It is.
So when I hear something like
we used to do it.
That's very helpful to us, because when we want to make it better, it's helpful to hear from y'all. This is what it takes to make it better, and I really appreciate that.
So
I want to
the
take a
family
moment
service.
to thank you for that.
Yeah, just like you say, they don't want us to be there on time. But then we're running. We can't even go in and use the bathroom. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So what we do, we won't stop to the store, and we're going to take our 5 to 8 years job to get at least a 15-minute break. Because we have a lot of pressure. So in order for us not to go crazy and spaz out every day, we have to mind down for a minute. Pull it back together so we can continue doing our job the right way. You know? Okay. Payroll, you said she was going?
Yeah,
payroll. Okay, I don't know if me and my sister talked or emailed you. Okay, so on the MOUs, you got the holiday pay now, Jamie them signed in July. The attendance is 7.5 hours. That's fine, we get that. The point is, what you guys are trying to tell us, that's always been the case. That has not always been the case. I've been here 21 years, and I've always been at an 8-hour bus, because if we don't get anything extra, I know that my 8 hours is going to make me through what I need to get through. So 7.5 hours, 6.5, that doesn't work for me. So for you guys to email us back and tell us this is like this is like that, that's not true. We're working on something, so we will be hearing a lot of
from us. Again, we don't listen to nobody, we're quiet. We do our job, we love our babies. We do what we need to do. But we gonna get that situated also, because at the end of the day, it's the principle. 7.5, she signed it, and they signed it, no. We didn't vote on that.
We don't vote on that.
And then so I'm gonna look back, and I'm like, okay, I did get paid. You telling me I did it, and I'm looking at it, I did. But we got something wrong with that. So yeah, that's all of that, because everybody talking about money and stuff. The doctor said, talk to your principals, get with your schools, you and the board. If they want the good people, it's Tina, Miss Brad, all these participants today, these are good people. Driving for help, take care. It's hard to drive that bus with them children, ESC and all. Tell the principals, y'all need to communicate with these drivers. You want to keep them at your school? See, we have a bid on those buses and stuff, on what schools you want to keep. If you want to keep your certain drivers at your school, treat them right. Do the right thing by them, and we will continue to keep coming to you and coming to you. That's how you build relationships. Okay? So you and the board need to actually get with them, have your meeting with them, and say, what can we do? What do we need to do? Have area meetings so you can know what's going on with these buses with these drivers. Because it's not right. And it makes me sad that we have all these unhappy people, and like that, it's nothing against you. But it's not right that these people around here struggling and upset and angry and mad and all this stuff, and everybody just nodding their head and trying to brush them off. We need action. We do. Because it's gonna go left real quick. We're already there. We're already there, and I'm for it. The odds are not high. So it's gotta be what it's gotta be. So we need you. You're new to the task. You're hearing us now. But we need you to be on it and be a man and stand on your word. You say you're here because you want to know, you want to help us continue this. Okay?
That is why we're here, just so you know, okay? We haven't done this before, and the reason why we're here is not just to sit here and nod. Well, we're not even to validate that what you're talking about. We're listening, we're hearing you. We're going to do what we can, and I expect action. That's what I expect to be held accountable for that as well. I'm just a part of that process, but I'm an important part of that process. So thank you for being honest with us. Thank you for that as well. Please.
Good evening. My name is James Lynham. I'm a former dispatcher and now bus driver. I didn't come up here for anything personal, but I don't believe in sugarcoating anything. One thing about it, I love my department, transportation. I love it. Respect is a big thing. I live in Harlem Heights by Fort Myers Beach, and I drive 30 minutes to the Leonard compound because I refuse to be at the 6 Mile compound because of the men. Because of the men. You're treated horribly over there. Like Bobby said, if they don't like you in that minute, they're going to retaliate on everything that you do. Everything that you do. Nitpick with everything. They don't want you on your phone.